Hello, it's Neka here. Today's topic is about forgiveness and the importance of forgiveness in you living the life of your dreams, achieving your heart desires, manifesting all that you would like to manifest in your life. Forgiveness is not about you letting the other person off the hook or feeling that, yeah, I have forgiven. If I don't forgive them, then you know forgiveness means you letting yourself off the hook. It's about you, not about the other person. Forgiveness means that it frees you up from being tied to the other person. Because when you're angry with someone and you think about them, you got that angry face and your body, every part of your muscles, your feels that anger. And when you're angry or you feel any kind of negative energy towards that other person, you're holding yourself in that negative energy, and that means you're out of alignment. You are not going to achieve or get that which you seek, because once you're out of alignment, you are out of alignment. And holding a negative thought about someone who has wronged you, that means you haven't forgiven them, holds you in negative alignment. That means you are also being held hostage to your emotion, hostage to that other person. So that other person is probably living their life, doing whatever they want to do, and you think of them and you feel this dislike, maybe hatred is probably a strong word, but you feel that for that person. So you are holding yourself hostage. You could say probably a slave to your emotions, to that when that person is concerned. And forgiveness frees you up from that. Forgiveness raises your vibration, gives you in a place of peace, in a place of joy, in a place of love for yourself and for the other person. You could say forgiveness is a selfish act because it's for your benefit, 100% for your benefit, because you are the one holding the emotion, not the other person. So when you forgive, you let go, so you can grow, you can expand, you can rise. And forgiveness also means that when you wrong someone else, you be forgiven, because that's the way the law works. You can't expect not to forgive someone and be forgiven when you wrong someone else. So by you forgiven, you are forgiven. No, because before I got to understand what forgiveness means, I used to hang on to things like, I'm hanging off my dear life. I hate this person. They've done this. They wronged me. I used to hang on to my dear life. I used to give myself tension headaches because that's how I get. And all my shoulders were all knotted up. And once I learned that forgiveness is about me letting go, it's about me forgiving myself and freeing myself from being held hostage to the other person. I'm like, It did take a while to get there, don't get me wrong. It took a long time, but I did get there. And still some very minor things are still like, but on the whole, no. I have learned to forgive. Because for that selfish reason, I don't want that negative energy in my body. Not at all. Because it doesn't serve me. Never did and never will. So I have learned to let go. I've learned to make peace and learn the act of forgiveness. As they say, it takes a bigger person to forgive. So I'm learning that when I forgive, I'm actually a better person. I am stronger for forgiving. I am in a better light. So yeah, so forgiveness helps you to move to achieve your dreams. So it moves to help you achieve your desire, because when you forgive someone, you're in alignment. And when you're in alignment with your desires, then you're in that sweet spot of miracles starts to happen. You start to get all that intuitive hits. Opportunities start to come your way. People things you don't think was going to happen will just have to happen. You're like, oh, how did that happen? Because you are open, you have expanded your awareness. You are welcoming all the hate, because that forgiveness just blocks up all those channels. So when you forgive, you are open. It's almost like a flower just opens up to the bright sunshine. And it is, I find it so liberating, so soul affirming to be in that space of peace, joy, love, hope, and seeing the miracles and all the wonderful things happening in my life. That is just amazing. And that, because I have learned to forgive. I have learned to let go. It doesn't mean I have forgotten. I have deleted, let's be honest, you can't delete that from your memory. But you don't hang on to it. It doesn't, there's no charge when that person's name comes up or the situation comes up in your brain. It's like, okay, that happened. I've learned to make peace with my stuff. It's making peace and finding the lessons from the situation. And that's what forgiveness is about. I've got this fantastic book here called Working with the Law by Raymond Halliwell. And there's I've read this book here, Working with the Law, Raymond Halliwell. It's a fantastic book. It's amazing. I read it almost every day, in all fairness. And it talks about forgiveness here. And it says, there's this on page 142. And there's a chapter here. There's a whole chapter here on forgiveness. Yeah. Since chapter 9 is also the law of forgiveness. And so here it talks about on page 42, it says, through applying the law of forgiveness, both parties concerned will be lifted from a depth consciousness to prosperous consciousness, and prosperity and plenty shall abound. And that's what we want, prosperity in our lives. That's what we seek, is to seek prosperity. Either in that job we're seeking, or in our business venture, or looking for our soulmate, or starting a family. That's prosperity. Or even just being healthy. It says, forgiveness, both parties concerned will be lifted from a depth consciousness to a prosperity consciousness. So when you don't forgive, when you are hanging on to that wrong, you are in depth consciousness. Even though you feel, they wronged you, so therefore you should be in the right and they should be in the wrong. But you are the one hanging on to it. So you are in the depth consciousness. You are the one feeling the anger. You are the one feeling the pain. You are the one feeling the annoyance, envy, the heartburn, the ulcers, and all that kind of headaches, and God knows what else, anxiety and panic attacks, that hanging on to hatred and discomfort or malice, judgment about someone who wronged you. When you hang on, that's how you manifest in your body. And so trying to say, oh yeah, I want that loving family, I want a relationship, but you're still hanging on to your ex that wronged you. Let it go. And just lean towards forgiveness. I'm not saying from today, not right now, here now, you be walking, oh yeah, I forgive, but start to lean towards forgiveness. Start to edge your way slowly, baby steps into forgiveness. And that's how you start to forgive. You don't just a quantum leap into forgiveness is unrealistic. But you can start to lean towards forgiveness. You can start to lean towards it. You can start to see the possibilities of forgiveness. What lessons can I learn from this? As the famous quote says, not being able to forgive is like drinking poison and hoping that the other person will get sick or will have the effect of the poison. You are the one drinking the poison, you feel the effect of the poison. And that's what forgiveness does. When you forgive, expansion happens, alignment happens, peace happens. All your body and your DNA, your muscles, everything starts to happen and they start to dance. It's like, when you watch, there's an advert, I think it was Ribena advert years ago. And when the Ribena goes into, the child brings the Ribena, and you can see all these little Ribena, like blueberries starts being happy in the body, and that's what it feels like when you are happy and when you're content and when you forgive. That's what you should feel like. That's what your body should feel like, and that's when you move from death consciousness to prosperity consciousness, and prosperity and plenty shall abound. And it goes on to say, everyone must be at some point walk the path of forgiveness. We must learn to live with this law. It must be important, for the master taught that there was no hope of forgiveness for the unforgiven. Only as we forgive are we forgiven. We must put forth the first effort. Our willingness must open the way for our forgiveness. We dare not ask more of the law than we are able to extend to ourselves or to our brothers. So if you cannot be if you don't forgive, don't expect other people to forgive you when you wrong them. You know, do not expect forgiveness when you wrong other people. So hence forgiveness is one of those things that is like it never stops giving. You know, once you forgive, you are forgiven, and the cycle continues, and abundance starts to roll into your life because you are no more tied to that. You free your mind, your body, and prosperity. All the goodness starts to happen. You know. And that's what prosperity is all about. That's what forgiveness is all about. You know, it says, then it goes on to say in the last paragraph, these are our daily tests, for it is in the school of forgiveness that the lessons of life are learned. So, as he says, in the school of forgiveness, the lessons of life are learned. So when we forgive, we learn the lessons of life. Acceptance, forgiveness, expansion happens, awareness increases, and we are now in the miracle zone. That sweet spot where everything starts to line up for you. It's like, oh, everything starts to fall into place when you kind of like walk. I see you're walking on air. And that's forgiveness, and that's what I want to talk about today, forgiveness. So start to lean into forgiveness for what it can do for you, and so invariably for what you can do for somebody else. Because ultimately, you are the one wanting to manifest your heart desires. So being able to forgive someone that has wronged you is a big step towards that. It's a big step towards that. So start to lean into forgiveness, and then we start to see the miracle start to roll in. You know. So start to lean into forgiveness. Start to lean into forgiveness. Thank you for listening.